Hey guys, so for this video, I'm going to teach you a couple of different magic tricks that you can perform at Thanksgiving dinner. Alright, let's get into it. Alright, for this trick, I'm going to show you how to make a quarter go through a table. So this is how it looks. For this, you're going to need one salt shaker, and you're going to need a couple napkins. So you're going to take your napkins and kind of wrap it around the salt shaker. And the way it's done is I'm going to take the quarter, I'm going to take the salt shaker, tap it against the quarter, and if I do it a couple times, hold on, it's not working. Actually, the salt shaker goes right through the table. Okay, I said that I was going to make the quarter go through the table, so I'm going to do that. Watch. If I just rub it, just like that, you can actually see that the quarter definitely goes to the table. I'm going to show you how both of those were done next. What you're going to need is one salt shaker, one quarter, and a couple napkins. So for the salt shaker vanish, you're going to take the napkins and you're going to wrap it around the salt shaker. So this is going to be kind of, well, the thing is, this is going to retain the shape of the salt shaker. So in their mind, they know that underneath the napkins, there is a salt shaker. So again, this is kind of a psychological thing. You know, it doesn't really make sense why you need to do all this in order to make a coin go through a table. But they don't know that a salt shaker is actually going to go through a table. So you do that, and you're going to tell them that you're going to take the salt shaker and you're going to tap it against the table or the quarter, and you're going to make that quarter go through a table. So when you do the tap, you're always going to do this. You're going to always tap and come over like that. You're going to basically condition them to see this every single time, because this is where the method kind of lies in. So you're going to come over, tap, show, quarter didn't go through. Let me try that again. Boom. And on the second time, you're going to drop the salt shaker into your other hand. So again, you're going to do that when you're over here. Nothing happened. Drop. You're going to come back over, and this time, again, there's nothing underneath the napkins now. You're going to come over, and you're going to take the salt shaker. You're going to come over underneath, and you're going to tap underneath the table. So you're going to kind of mime that, okay? So again, you drop it, come over, that's weird, didn't happen. Oh, you know what? Boom. Do the salt shaker through the table. They're gonna freak out. Show there is nothing underneath the napkin. There's nothing there. Come over, boom. You have effectively made a salt shaker go through a table. So that's the first part. Now comes the second part, the coin going through a table. And hopefully you can see this on camera. So, got the coin here. You're gonna show both hands empty, and you know, you wanna show that this is really one coin that you're using. And if you have a Sharpie nearby, you can even have them sign it, you know, if you wanna go that extra step. So basically what you're gonna do is, you're gonna show your hands empty, you're gonna take your other hand, and you're going to kind of mimic that you're putting it underneath the table for you to catch that coin underneath the table. But what's really happening is you're going to come over and put it somewhat kind of like right here near the edge of the table, because the way to make the quarter go through a table, what you're doing, and this might be a little hard to see because everything is happening underneath the hand. But I'm going to show you kind of a more of an exposed angle. So you're going to put it like that. Okay, you're going to put your hand over the quarter like that. This is going to be the more exposed version, so you can see what's happening. When you're rubbing, you're going to kind of work that coin with your hand, and you can see that the coin is actually coming down to the edge of the table. Once you do that, you're going to drop it into your other hand, and what's going to happen next is you're going to come forward and then boom, that coin has now gone through the table. Now, a little tip here, once that coin has fallen into your other hand, you don't want to do this with your hand, okay? You don't want to do, so let's say you're still rubbing, you don't want to do that. That looks kind of odd, okay? This is where your body is going to actually lean forward to cover that small action. So what you're going to do is once the quarter drop, you're going to come over just like that. See, now that kind of masks the hand moving like that. In that action, you're going to kind of, you know, try to convince like, okay, boom, the coin has actually gone through the table. So in that little forward sequence, you are kind of like really putting pressure onto that quarter, and that's kind of the excuse of why you're leaning forward. And again, that's just covering this little small action. So again, in real time, you're gonna take the quarter, boom. Actually, let me do it from the beginning. So you're gonna take it, show hands empty, boom, watch, bam, just like that, boom. And you can see that the coin has gone through a table. And you can show it cleanly, place it right there, and you have effectively fried their minds. All right, let's get into the next one. Okay, for this trick, I'm gonna use some apple juice, pour it into the cup, just like that. Okay, watch, give it a little bit of a swirl, and just like that, you can actually see that the apple juice has turned into a real apple. Here's how that's done. For this trick, you're gonna need 1 apple, apple juice, a cup that is not clear, and you're gonna need a crap load of napkins. So the setup is basically you're gonna place all the napkins at the bottom of the cup, just like that, okay? And then you're gonna take your apple and place it inside the cup. And that's your basic setup. Something to remember if you are doing this, you don't want people around 2 feet, you know, close to you, because there could be that chance they can see the apple in the cup. Usually I kind of hold it up if they're kind of like at eye level, or not really eye level, but they are able to look down and see there is an apple in that cup. So if that's the case, usually I hold it like right above their head, like no, don't do that. That's a horrible idea. But I do something like this, okay? So kind of tilt the cup where the apple is kind of facing you. Once you're ready, and again, you could do this at a table or standing up. Take your apple juice, pour a good amount in. You don't want too much, okay? Just like that, and kind of create some time here. You know, take some time screwing that up. What you want to do is, again, create some time to have that napkin or napkins absorb the juice. So once a good amount of time has passed, you know, again, give it a little swirl, do some, you know, fairy dust, I don't know what you want to do. Once you do that, turn the cup over, and then boom, you get your apple juice turning into an actual apple. So have fun with this one. It could get messy if you pour way too much. Please don't pour too much, because yeah, I've done that. You're gonna see the next clip. Yeah, this one's fun. Enjoy. Open a cup here. Take apple juice. You know what? Pour a little bit more. How about that? Okay. Pour it. You're gonna see something amazing. If I give it a little shake, just like that, you can actually. For this trick, you're gonna need 1 fork and a napkin. You're gonna place the fork on the napkin, and watch. If I just take it, roll it up. Okay, no funny business here. If I just snap, give it a little wave, and just like that, you can actually see that the fork has magically turned into a knife that you can cut your turkey into with. Here's how that's done. Alright, for this trick, you're gonna need 1 fork, 1 knife, and a napkin. I'm using a cloth napkin. I find that this trick works the best with the cloth napkin. You can use a paper napkin, but for now, I'm gonna stick with the cloth. And you're gonna need 1 placemat. And you could basically find this all at the dinner table. So what you're gonna do is your setup is basically you're gonna have the knife underneath the table here. And this is pretty simple. You take your fork, place it kind of on top of the knife, and then you're gonna grab the knife underneath and your fork, and you're gonna roll pretty much everything. Now, at this point, when you're at the very end, you're going to let this flap kind of come over, okay? So you're gonna let that happen, and then, you know, do your snap, do your wave, whatever magical gesture, and then, again, that flap needs to be forward. At this point, you unravel everything, and you show that the fork has turned into the knife. Now, again, I mentioned that this works better with a cloth napkin. The reason why is because the cloth has, you know, bumps and all these bulges, so it kind of covers the knife that's actually over here. Now, if you are concerned about people asking to look underneath the napkin, there is another way where you can actually show underneath the napkin and you end cleanly. This is actually how that looks. So, get the knife. Okay. This is kind of that version. So you take the fork, roll it up, do your bam, just like that, and you can show that underneath there is no fork. Okay. So the way that's done is basically when you are doing the wrap, or actually the unraveling. Let me kind of get to that point real quick here. What you're doing is, and a little note here, you want to have the mat kind of a little bit off the edge of the table. That's going to kind of play into this a little bit. So when you do the unravel, you are kind of, and this is going to be kind of hard to show, but you are kind of throwing the knife just like that into your lap, okay? So in real time, this is how it looks. So you do the, okay? So basically, it looks something like this, boom, okay? Hopefully you have nothing in your pocket because you could probably hear that little clank, but bam, show the fork. If they want to see underneath the napkin, bam, show that. And you got this really cool illusion of a fork turning into a knife. Now, you don't have to limit the trick to that. You can also turn the fork into a pen. You could also turn the metal fork into a plastic fork. That's pretty cool. You know, you could just do any other transformation. So really there is a lot of different possibilities with this one. So yeah. On to the next one. All right, for this one, I am gonna show you how to make a dinner roll bounce on the ground. Here's how that looks like. Let's get into it. For this, you're gonna need one dinner roll. So basically what you're gonna do is you're gonna mimic that you are throwing it onto the ground, but in reality, what's happening is you are using your foot to tap on the ground to create that the sound of the dinner roll bouncing. So once you do that, it's going to look like this. Boom. Okay. Just like that. And then the positioning of your arm is very important. So you're going to take it, boom, put it right there. You're going to kind of have it parallel to your leg that you're tapping with. So you're going to, boom, right there. And in this position, to make the roll come back up in the air, you're basically going to use your wrist. You're not really using your arm, it's just your wrist to bounce the roll up in the air. So it's like that, okay? It's really hard to show in slow motion, but once you do everything in one fluid motion, it's gonna work out perfectly. And this is gonna make a mess. So be prepared for that. So you again, bounce it, boom, throw it with your wrist, just like that. And again, you want to, and I don't think I really noted this, you want to be very close to the table, because if you're further back, you're gonna probably see you tossing the dinner roll. So be very close. You want the table to kind of hide your angles. And you want to do this where the person you're trying to fool is on the other side of the table. Anybody that's over here or over behind you, they're gonna see how the trick's done. So in real time, this is how it looks like from a pretty dirty angle. Just like that, okay? So one more time, and this is like falling apart, so I'm probably gonna need a new roll in a second, but I'm gonna try it out anyways, so just like that, okay? Okay, one more time, just like that. One more time, okay? So practice with this one. This one is, this one could be a little tricky, no pun intended, but again, practice with this one and show it at your next dinner. Thanksgiving dinner. Okay, for this next trick, I'm going to tear napkin into pieces. Just like that, okay? If I roll it up, just like that, if I give it a little snap, you can actually see that the napkin actually restores back together, just like that. I'm going to show you how that's done. For this trick, you're going to need 2 napkins. You're going to roll one of the napkins up, and before you do the trick, you're going to set up like this. You're going to roll it up and put this in your palm. Okay, so that's basically the setup. You're going to take your other napkin and you're going to show your person that this is a ordinary napkin. You can take their napkin or whatever napkin is on the dinner table, and you're going to show it, and then you're going to proceed to tear it into pieces. Okay, so you got that. Boom. Just tear it up into just a lot of different pieces. Okay, really get across that these are they're torn. These are ripped apart. Okay, so you got that, and at this point you can show, you know, this is pretty much a mess. You're gonna then take your pieces and you're gonna crumple it up in a ball. Okay, so just like that. And in that motion right there, when you are crumpling up your napkin, you're actually really crumpling it up. But in that motion, you are going to switch it for the restored pieces. So this is, I'm going to show you more of an exposed angle. So this is the ripped up pieces. So you're doing that, boom. You're just going to kind of switch it up, and everything's really happening kind of behind your hands. So they're not going to really notice what's going on. They just know in their head that, okay, you're just balling up, you know, those ripped up napkin. So you do that, give it a little hocus pocus, snap your fingers, or you know, whatever you want to do, and then you can show. And you want to still keep these, and you want to keep these pieces palm in your hand. Open it up, and you see that the napkin is back restored like nothing ever happened. Okay, so you can kind of see there, I'm using this hand to kind of mimic this hand, just to make sure that this doesn't look awkward. You know, if I do this looks kind of weird. This looks more easy on the eyes, and they're not going to think anything of this hand. If you are nervous about palming this, and you know, if you think people are going to catch it, what you can do at this point is you roll everything up, and you can show that, you know, right there, this is where I kind of dished it, that the napkin is restored. So I'm going to show you that again. So right there, I'm going to show it. Hopefully it doesn't fall. But in your lap, and again, this should be done at a table. So you unroll it, and at this point, you're going to ditch the other pieces that are palm in your hand into your lap. Okay? So once you do that, and you're just going to do it again. Let me get these pieces. Wish I wouldn't drop on the ground. Try to catch it in my lap here. So again, palm pieces. You're just kind of straightening everything out. Boom. bam. Just don't make a big deal out of it. Drop it, switch it. Really keep your focus on the restored napkin. So at this point, you are left clean. You can show both hands empty. Boom, give this, feed this to your dog. Don't feed this to your dog. You could take this and you know, put it in your pocket when you're not looking, or eat it if they're not looking. All right, on to the next one. All right, for this one, I'm gonna show you how to make a toothpick vanish. Here's how that works. So for this, you're gonna need one toothpick and you're gonna need some Scotch tape. So you're gonna stick it to the back of your thumb, and this is kind of how it works. It just, boom, like that. So you're just basically doing that. So you could kind of do it the way I did it. I like to usually do something kind of like this, and then bam, making it disappear. There's another way where you can, this one actually really freaks people out. Be very careful of this one. So you take another toothpick and you're gonna take it and put that in your mouth. Again, be very careful with this, okay? So you got that, you show them, okay? Boom, bam. You make the toothpick that you just made disappear reappear in your mouth. And while you are making it come out of your mouth, you can actually take this one right here, and once you're down here, you can just kind of get rid of the evidence. So again, just like that. So have fun with that. Be careful. You have a toothpick in your mouth. I don't want you to choke on it. Have fun with this one. Alright, for this trick, I'm gonna show you how to make a cup float. Here's how that looks like. Alright, I'm gonna show you how that's done. The secret behind the floating cup is basically this. That is it. It's that simple. It's just a hole in the back. So the way it works is basically you take your thumb and you are going to kind of place it in, and that's how you kind of get that floating illusion. So what you want to get is a styrofoam cup, and before you do the trick, your setup is you kind of just make a small little hole. I just use my thumb and get a good size hole. So once you got that, get your person to come over and tell them, hey, I'm gonna make a, don't do that though. Hey, I'm gonna make a cup float. Watch this, boom, do it, bam, get the reaction. Obviously, you don't want to perform it where, you know, they're going to be able to see that your thumb is kind of helping with the illusion. This is all about angles. This trick, you do want to do this kind of one-on-one like this. You can't do it where it's kind of like that or like that. It's just way too obvious. Obviously, it's way too obvious. Obviously, it's way too obvious. That sounds so weird. So get your person over, do the trick, bam, and you're done. Now I know what you guys are asking. What about the hole in the back? What if they ask if they want to see the cup? So basically the way around that is, there's kind of one way to do this. There's actually two ways of doing this, but the other way kind of requires a table, and you kind of have to lap the other, like another cup that is basically one without a hole. So that one I'll kind of, you know, go over that really quickly. But this one, and I'll do the kind of the cleanup, how to avoid your person to figure out there's a hole in the back. So basically, you do the levitation, and then when you come back, you just kind of do that. So you're kind of destroying the evidence. You kind of come back, and then you kind of break the cup. So when they try to reverse engineer this, they're not gonna figure out like, oh, there was a hole in the back. It's just a broken cup. Now, the other method would basically be, let me go ahead and just set up a different cup here. Poke the hole, do the levitation, boom, they're reacting. So right now they're kind of freaked out, and that's the perfect misdirection to take your cup, and again, you have to have another cup. And again, this has to be done sitting at a table. You have to have this cup underneath the table. You have your dirty cup basically in play, and when they're reacting, you just come down and switch it. don't think too much about it. It happens very quickly. Again, they're reacting, so they are, and this is better done with like, you know, a group. Again, they have to be kind of right in front of you in order to do this. But in that moment where they're reacting, this switch is like very nonchalant. So that's basically the idea behind the floating cup. Now I'm going to show you a second way where it doesn't even require a hole at all. This is a much cleaner version. Alright, let's get into that one. So this is the more cleaner version without the hole in the back. So it looks something like that. And you can actually show that there is nothing around. So for that method, all you're going to need is one styrofoam cup, and you're going to need some double stick tape. What you're going to do is take a small strip, that much, and you're going to kind of stick it pretty well on the back of your, not really on the back of your thumb, but on the fuck. This one's not sticking for some reason. Okay, where do we? So in order to pull that version off, you're going to need one styrofoam cup, and you're going to need some double stick tape. So what you're going to do is take a small strip of double stick tape, and what you're going to do is kind of tape it or stick it on the kind of the tip of your tongue. Tip of your tongue. That's like bloopers. Don't stick it. Don't stick it on the tip of your tongue. Alright, you want to stick this on the tip of your thumb. Stick it pretty well. Okay. So that should be good right there. Okay. And you want to take your styrofoam cup, and you can actually take their styrofoam cup. I think it's much stronger that way. Make sure it's empty. You don't want any liquids because it will make a big mess, and you don't want to clean that up. So take their styrofoam cup, or you could take your own styrofoam cup. Show that this is, you know, an ordinary styrofoam cup. Then take your styrofoam cup, and when you're ready, you're going to take your thumb, place it on the back, do the levitation, come back over, they're reacting, and you're going to give the cup to them to have them examine it. And while you're doing that, you're going to take your tape and you're just going to brush it off and take it off, and basically you're left clean. You have nothing on your hands. They can examine your hands. They have nothing to see. All the heat is really on this cup. They're going to try to figure out if there's some, they're going to think there's probably a string on it or something like that. But the cleanup where you have to take the tape off, that is really, that's like really nothing. You kind of have to not really worry about that. If you're kind of nervous about they're gonna see something like that, do the levitation, come quickly down and just rub it off. It's that quick. Again, all the heat is on this cup. They're gonna want to jump on this cup first. So that's the second version. This is much preferable version for me, at least. I mean, I like the other one if I don't have tape, but if I have double stick tape or something, and you don't really need to use double stick tape, you could use something like sticky tack or something like that. Sticky tack might be a little bit hard to clean up, but what you want to do again is use something sticky. If you can find that, maple syrup, I don't know. I've actually never tried maple syrup before, but anything sticky will work. So have fun with this one. I have fooled a lot of people. Don't underestimate this one. This one really fools people. Alright, on to the next one. Hope you guys enjoy those tricks. Let me know down in the comments which one you might use at Thanksgiving dinner. And don't forget to comment, favorite, subscribe, like this video, do what you need to do. And I will see you guys next time.
Oh my goodness.